Have you guys been listening to rap recently? Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on that we're really just not ready for as a collective. I mean, I think we're really experiencing history right now in terms of the things that are going on with Kendrick, Rick Ross, Drake, all these guys, and I mean, it's Sunday of May the 5th as I'm making this. I mean, this is important stuff that we really need to dive into and understand that I don't really think we do yet. So maybe you guys don't know, or maybe you know already, and hopefully I'm assuming you know, but maybe you don't. Kendrick recently dissed Drake, and it has just gone on through a spiral. Obviously, not just Kendrick, Future, Metro, ASAP Rocky, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, all of those guys who are involved on the album of We Don't Trust You, are really gotten involved in this beef, and I kind of want to dive into today and see kind of where this all stemmed from and why this is really happening. So I really want to look into each song, each significance, kind of how it all started and where we are at now, exploring every single song. So in terms of the songs being in order, it actually started with First Person Shooter on For All the Dogs of Drake, where it was and J. Cole debating on who is the GOAT, and Kendrick wasn't on that track. So Kendrick was mad and ended up dropping Like That on Metro Boomin's album with Future. Then Drake, in response, drops Push Ups and the Taylor Made Freestyle. Then, in response, Kendrick Lamar drops Euphoria and 616 in LA. Then, after that, Drake responds again with Family Matters. Not even 30 minutes after Drake responds, Kendrick drops Meets the Grams. And then a day after, Kendrick drops Not Like Us. And he's expected to drop tonight as well. So starting off with the first song in the series of disses, it's gonna start off with Like That. And in Like That, Kendrick kind of goes into why he thinks he's the best. There isn't a big three, it's just big him. So in terms of him talking about it, he talks about say it's a lot of goofies with a check, meaning Drake, because he Drake signs with Nike. So a lot of goofies with a check. He's saying Drake is a goof. Another verse in here, he says, Mother F the big three, neighbor, it's just big me. Essentially saying that it's just big him, there's no one else. No one else doesn't like him. And finally, the last big diss in his Like That verse, he says, before all your dogs getting buried, that's the K with all these nines, he gonna see Pet Cemetery, essentially dissing the For All the Dogs album, saying he's gonna put Drake in a cemetery because for that album, and that album really wasn't very good. Now, it's a popular opinion, this Like That record was very much a hit, and people thought that Drake was gonna have to respond very soon and very quickly. Drake didn't end up responding for pretty much, I believe it was a whole another month, maybe a little bit less than that, and he decided to drop Push Ups. Now, in Push Ups, Drake talks about a lot of things. Mainly, he decides to discredit Kendrick Lamar, also bringing up and dissing people like The Weeknd, saying that, he's dependent on the Sixth God influence, saying that his success was unearned, and the only reason that The Weeknd is successful is just because of straight luck. Things like petty jabs at like Ja Morant as well in this song are very clear, and he also decides to mock Metro Boomin's production skills. Says that he was the one who put Future on the map, and he also mocks Kendrick's popularity. In the song, he says things towards Kendrick like, you ain't in no big three, SZA got you wiped down, Travis got you wiped down, Savage got you wiped down, like your label, boy, you in a scope right now. He also says, what the F is this, a 20v1? What's a prince to a king, he is son? Drake also says in this song, Metro, shut yo ho ass up and make some drums. Essentially just saying that Metro just needs to shut up, get out of the beef, which we haven't really seen a whole lot out of Metro. Also in push-ups, he also says, we gonna need a verse for the Swifties, better drop and give me 50, meme things like that. And he also threw a little shade at Cole. He said, I don't care what Cole think, that Dot was weak. Then Drake dropped this song Taylor Made Freestyle. I'm not really gonna go into that as that was just kind of a meme song. It's kind of a joke song, just to have a little fun, poke fun. So I'm not really gonna go into that as I want to go into the serious stuff that they're both saying towards each other. So the next song in line, Kendrick, in response to Push Ups, 2 weeks later, dropped Euphoria. Now in Euphoria, Kendrick does not hold back, just dissing Drake. He when he goes all in. This is when the gloves come off. They're going straight knuckles. This is where the pants come off and the condom came off. Really, in this rap battle here, there was no protection. There's no nothing. They're just straight gonna start dissing each other now. Kendrick in this song goes after Drake, saying basically that he's a phony and that he has ghostwriters and that he's not really the kind of person that you think he is, and that he's just a joke and he's a liar. In Euphoria, Kendrick also calls back to Drake's fumble against Pusha T, where he says, "Yeah, f all that Pushin' P, let me see you push a T." And if we just want to talk about straight fumbles, that's just a perfect example to call back to is the Pusha T diss against Drake. Drake completely fumbled that. Never clapped back at Pusha T because Pusha T absolutely owned him in that. Just straight raw dogged Drake from the beginning. And in this song, Kendrick just starts saying that he hates Drake. He says, "I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dressed." Um, he's like, he's just. It's not even just like dissing anymore. He's just saying that he hates the dude. It's not even just like a friendly jab at this point. He just doesn't like Drake. And on this record as well, Cole just constantly catches strays. He says, "It's three goats left, and I've seen two of them kissing and hugging on stage," referring to Drake and J. Cole. Then after this, Kendrick on his Instagram posted a picture of a glove, Maybach glove. And the song 616 in LA is exclusively on Instagram, which I hate him for that. But 616 in LA goes into Drake 2 a little bit more, and the numbers also have some significance, so I'm going to go into that really quick. So the number 616 could mean a lot of things, what Kendrick's talking about. But a couple of the things I'm going to talk about here. 616 is the date of Father's Day that it's celebrated in many countries, including the US and Canada. June 16th is also Tupac's birthday, which Kendrick obviously has a deep affinity for Tupac. And then finally, O.J. Simpson's murder case began on June 16th, maybe referring to Drake as O.J. Simpson. Which, I mean, if you want to just talk about something that's disrespectful, I think that's pretty disrespectful, just calling you OJs. I think that's pretty, I wouldn't let that slide. And we know Drake has a thing of not letting disses slide. X. Now in 616 in LA, Kendrick talks about the rats that he has in OVO, kind of like how Pusha T had rats in OVO, and that's how he got his info. Kendrick says, 100 neighbors that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually next to you. Now, after that, diss on Instagram, that night, Drake, in response, dropped Family Matters. Now, in Family Matters, there are a couple of pictures, just going through the places where Drake has been. So, like in the opening first part of it, there's the Good Kid, Mad City car being crushed. Somehow Drake got that. I don't think it's the actual official car, but I think it's just a car that was a replica of it or kind of looked like it. And then he's also at Dude's estate, who I do want to go into that here in a second, but in the first opening line of the song, Drake says, "I know that you're mad. I've emptied the clip over friendlier jabs. You mentioned my seed. Now you deal with his dad. I gotta go back. I gotta go back." Drake also in this record goes into dissing people like A$AP Rocky, and he talks about Rick Ross. Rick Ross is Ozempic, which I kind of laughed at that. I thought that was funny. Just this DJ just constantly calls Rick Ross fat, and it's hilarious. Now, at the end of Family Matters, though, before the song ends, Drake says, "There's nowhere to hide, there's nowhere to hide, you know what I mean." They hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat on your queen. The picture you painted ain't when it seem you're dead. Now, at the end of the song here, Drake kind of goes to the what is known as the Andy Kernu Bertle Path Estate. Now, from what I know, Andy Kernu is an interesting fellow. He's known for hosting Diddy-style parties. No Diddy. He's been in a lot of legal trouble, um, from what I know. So, I mean, I just thought that was interesting that Drake was hanging out with a diddler, you know, because I mean, maybe Kendrick has been right this whole time. That Drake is really a sex offender and a pedophile, you know. And I saw this clip on Twitter where some dude, a DJ, was playing at an LA party. He was playing Family Matters, and people were booing the song and telling him to turn it off, which I thought was funny, but it makes sense because they were in LA and that's, you know, Kendrick's area. But not too long after Family Matters drops, Kendrick drops Meet the Grams, where, I mean, he just goes in the whole song. It was 20 minutes after Family Matters dropped, though. And I mean, Kendrick had to have known that that was going to come out, that Family Matters was going to come out, because he even addresses that song in Meet the Grams. So he must have known that that song was going to come out at that time. Now, in Meet the Grams, Kendrick talks about and starts the song off with Dear Adonis, but he mostly talks to each family member of Drake. So he talks about Adonis, he talks to his mother Sandra, he talks to his father, um, just all of them. So Dear Dennis, so Dennis is his father, Sandra is his mother, and then he talks about Drake's supposed daughter that no one knows he has, and Drake actually responded to that, but he talks about his daughter that Drake says that he's hiding. Which, I mean, we've seen this fiasco with Drake before, where Drake has obviously hit a child, Adonis. I don't know why Drake likes doing it so much, but also in the song, Kendrick claims that Drake might be hiding some other children as well, which I find is pretty interesting. Kendrick has some lines in here, like at the beginning of verse 3, he says, "Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father is not active inside your world." Um, at the beginning of verse 2, he says, "Dear Sandra, your son got some bad habits. I hope you don't undermine them." He also says that him and Weinstein should get effed up in a cell for the rest of their lives. He says he got sex offenders in OVO that he keep on a monthly allowance. Um, he just says that he wants Drake to die. Also says that the embassy about to get raided too, because it's only a matter of time. And then at the end of the song, Drake, he talks about his ghost riders, and he says he just keeps saying you lied. He says you lied about 5 times in a weird tone. If I could play it, I would. You're gonna have to go listen to it there at the end, but it's a weird flow to the song. It's kind of scary. He also brings up Drake's gambling problems and drinking problems, bill propping problems. Just everything you don't want to hear if you're a Drake fan. Now, people were wondering where he got this information from, and obviously, people are assuming that he has rats in OVO. But the cover art for this, where it has the pills and the shirt and the Ozempic at the bottom right, people are saying that Kendrick might have actually been set up and fed some false information from OVO, that Drake actually set Kendrick up. Now, none of it's confirmed, none of it's 100%, but that's what people believe, because each of the items in there kind of has a meaning. Just like the Maybach is kind of a flex, the Maybach and the Ozempic is kind of a thing to Russ. The shirt from the collection is kind of a reference to Kendrick. So people are saying that maybe Kendrick was set up and that a lot of that stuff probably wasn't true. Nobody's 100% sure, but again, that's what people are speculating. People are also speculating that they have found the daughter in the song, so that people are speculating that they found the daughter and who she is. This is again not 100% confirmed. Nobody's 100% sure, But according to the lyric in the song, let me find it here. Kendrick said, "You need to know that love is eternity and trumps all pain." Now, when he says love is eternity, the name of the girl is Eternity, and people were speculating that this is who it is. Again, not 100% confirmed. It might just be like a lyric thing. Nobody's 100% sure on this. This is just what people are speculating. But this is the supposed expected girl that he is referring to, who might not even actually, the daughter might not even exist because Kendrick might have been set up. Now, a little bit less than a day after he dropped Beat the Grams, Kendrick drops Not Like Us, where he just essentially disses the entirety of OVO as a whole. And people are speculating that he actually made this song in a whole day because he brings up Family Matters in the song. Now, in the cover art of the song, it is actually Drake's house, referred to as the Embassy in Toronto, with 13 markers from the sexual predator map that they usually would have put up there. Now, what he's saying is that all of these members in OVO are sexual offenders and predators. Now, in this song, Kendrick brings up a couple things. He talks about Chubbs, and essentially he says, "They telling me Chubbs the only one that gets your hand-me-down." So what he's saying is that after Drake has been with underage girls, Chubbs from OVO ends up, getting with the same girls. One of the newest members of OVO, Party Next Door, Kendrick says, "And the party at the party, playing with his nose now," referring to Party Next Door doing cocaine. And then another lyric he brings up Baka from OVO saying, "And Baka got a weird case, why is he around?" Essentially referring to the case that Baka had where he sexually assaulted a 22-year-old woman from a couple years ago. He also has a couple lyrics in here that are shots at Drake, such as "certified lover boy," "certified pedophiles," or "trying to strike a chord, it's probably a minor." He also, near the end of the song, disses guys like Lil Baby, 21, Young Thug, Quavo, and 2 Chainz, where he says, "Little Baby helped you get your lingo up, 21 gave you false street cred, Thug made you feel like you slime in your head, Quavo said that you can be from Northside, 2 Chainz say you good, but he lied." He also calls Drake not a colleague, a colonizer. And he also, at the end of the song, starts saying "OV hell." Now, not even 3 hours after the song dropped, people were playing this song in clubs already, and people were just vibing to it. I think it just kind of shows that Drake's a little screwed. People also on Google Maps were changing the name of Drake's house to Kendrick Lamar's house, and there are a couple other things. I'm going to pull up the clip on Twitter now that I have while I'm talking over it. But it was pretty funny. I thought so, at least, that, people are just constantly dissing Drake. So at the end here, who do I think is winning? I think, in my opinion, I think Kendrick's winning currently. Obviously, anything can change, especially if some of this evidence is fake. It'll definitely change my opinion on the matter. But in my opinion, I think Kendrick is definitely beating Drake right now to a bloody pulp. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you guys another time. Thanks.